About 2 decades ago, at the start of my career, I was appointed as a Trivandrum Police Commissioner, and at that time, I was really excited about that opportunity. It was a big challenge. I wanted to take it head on. I was like so thrilled about it. And then, just as I got started, things went downhill and it became miserable. And what happened was there were two senior officers who, for some reason, they didn't like me, or there was, I couldn't figure out what the reason was. They started playing games and started bullying me. One of them was my own boss, in fact, my boss's boss, so my super boss, so to say. And another was a senior officer who was in charge of the armed police battalion, which is, it's like the reserve manpower. So if you have some contingency, you need extra people, and you don't have the police force in the district or the city, you can get from them. So he controlled this extra manpower, and my own boss, of course, super boss, he controlled the law and order. And the challenge was the following. I was in Trivandrum city, the state capital, and as you can imagine, there are lots of protests and demonstrations and agitations. It's the order of the day. Every single day, Monday to Saturday, you would have like 5 to 10 protests easily. And for these protests, sometimes you don't have enough people in the police station, so you need extra manpower. And routinely, what would happen is in the evenings, I would get a call from my super boss. So he would call and ask me, for this particular protest, how many people do you have? And I'll say, I have 40 people. And then he would just flare up. What do you mean 40 people? How can you manage with that? You need more manpower. Go and talk to the battalion DIG or somebody and ask them. And then I would call this other guy who was heading the battalions. And then he would say, oh, but you have so many people already. I've given you so many people for this thing. Take from there. And then I would have to call my own super boss. He would say, oh, it's your mistake. You're calling him. I can't help you now at night. You should have done this maybe like in the afternoon. If this discussion was happening in the afternoon, he would say, you should have done this in the morning. So it doesn't matter what time this would happen. He would blame me by saying, oh, you should have done this like 6 hours or one day before this. There was no way. There was really no way to satisfy them both. At the end, I would call them again. Finally, after making me run around, they would give the manpower. And this became a daily game. Almost every evening, I would just dread. I would dread that call from my super boss, and then this whole sequence would start again and again and again. And I figured all they were doing, for some reason, I still can't figure out why. For some reason, just enjoying. They were trying to make my life miserable, pull me down. It was nothing but just some kind of ragging or bullying going on. But I kept my cool, and my own boss, he was very supportive, a wonderful person. And together we were able to handle all these law and order problems. In fact, there were some really challenging ones. People thought this would like blow up completely. Nothing happened. We managed it well. And at that point, people realized that, okay, these guys are not going to just die. They are there. And then one day, I and my boss, we went and met the DGP, the chief of police, and told him, look, sir, this is a problem. If we don't get manpower, please be prepared. Anything can go wrong. And then he called the head of battalions, the guy who used to play these games, and told him, look, whatever he says, just give that manpower. I don't want to hear this ever again. And then after that, it was a smooth sail. Next day onwards, I just don't even have to call him, just send a message and you would get the manpower. But this is a story, but I think the lesson is something else here. The lesson is that we will not always have well-meaning people in our life. There'll always be some people, like my boss was an amazing, very wonderful person. But some people will not be like that. And when that happens, we might have the sense that, oh my God, I will fail, or something tragic will happen, or maybe they'll just defeat me. It won't happen. They will not succeed. When people try to bully or put you down, what we have to do is focus on our task. They are trying to distract you. Don't get distracted. Focus on the real goal and over deliver. If you start doing your job right, if you start delivering, at some point people will notice. And the power they have, they will start losing their power, because once you have credibility, nobody can touch you. So the best way to fight back these bullies in these kind of situations is to show them that you can do the task that is given to you. And once you start building that recognition and credibility and respect, then none of this will matter. In fact, here's the funny part. I want to end the story with something with some interesting story. And the story is that about 2 years later, the same guy who was heading the battalion, that the DIG battalion, he called me for a small favor. He wanted something, some help from me. And at that time, I didn't say anything, but I remembered that when I was a novice, when I had no experience, when I needed help, at that time, you played all these games with me, and now you want some help from me. Of course, I didn't say anything. There's no point holding grudge. Just let it go. But remember, nobody can defeat you. If you know your job, if you're good at it, that is the biggest difference. You can defeat any kind of politics, any kind of scheming. Nothing, it won't work. So go ahead and make your presence felt and do the right thing. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon next video. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.